Good evening, folks. This is Steve, and this is A Voice Crying in the Wilderness. I felt very inclined to make this a quick video because I think it's all important for all of us to be prepared for the end times. Are all of you out there prepared for the end times? Are you prepared for what's coming? I think it is very important to kind of get prepared and not to just be living in this dream world that everything is going to be okay. The enemy is on our doorstep, and we need to be prepared for what's coming. Now, I have something from one of the pastors that was out of Lima, Ohio. His name is Dr. Mike Spalding, and he's got a church out of Calvary Chapel of Lima, Ohio. And he said it best. So I'll let this speak for itself, and then we'll discuss it.
And he wants me to equip people to understand, how are you going to break bondages? How are you going to destroy strongholds? How are you going to deliver people from this demonic oppression, influence, in some instances, possession? The church is illiterate. We talk about biblical illiteracy. Well, that's part and parcel of biblical illiteracy. They wouldn't know how to cast a demon out if you gave them the manual. They wouldn't know. So we've got to help them and train them and equip them. So after I'm done with the 7 churches, I'm taking a break and I'm going to do a series, and I'm going to call it Real Life Sundays. This is the reality of where we're at today as the ecclesia. We have got to get away from this 1950s version of Christianity in America, where we take the kids to church in their Sunday best and come home to a pot roast in the oven and sit down and read the paper and watch the news, and everything's, hey, those days are over if they really ever existed to begin with. We had better get serious about this. Amen. Because the enemy is already on our shores.
Yes.
And if you don't rise up now, if we don't rise up now, there's not going to be a time to rise up. You're going to get steamrolled.
Yeah, I agree with Dr. Mike. I think he kind of made a very good point out there. So we've won a few battles, but I truly believe I think that it is time for Christians to stop laying down. They need to start standing up for their principles and not laying down and not allowing the enemy to get them. And no, Dr. Mike is right. We got to stop living in this dream world that we're living in, and we need to get out there. We need to be proactive, and we need to do it in a non-violent way. And yeah, we do have to be in a non-confrontational way. And when the enemy strikes back at us, we have to be firm, but we have to let them know exactly where we stand, and that we're not going to let them tell us what to do. So I think it's very important that we all need to stand up for our beliefs. We all need to be prepared for the end times, because I truly believe this, and I believe it with all my heart, that I believe that things are going to get much worse. And despite the fact of what a lot of people are saying, evil is going to continue. I believe that we're gonna win the battle, but it's gonna be a very tough battle. But I think it's very important that all of us as Christians, we all need to stand up for what we believe. We need to stand firm on our principles and not compromise. And that's kind of what I'm trying to do. I haven't given up yet. I haven't given up the ship. There's been a few times where I've felt that it's been a lost cause, but I haven't given up, and I'll never compromise. I'll never stop believing what I believe in. I'll always stand for Christian values. I think that's the best thing we can do, regardless of what happens, regardless of who's in power. We will stand together until the end, and that's what we need to be. We need to do. I mean, everything is open for debate. but there is no compromise when it comes to Jesus Christ and his word. And everything comes right out of the Bible, and it's the way, at least the way I interpret it as. And I know that I will never compromise my beliefs for someone else, regardless of their views. Everyone has a right to their views. Everyone has a right to believe what they want to believe. Everybody has a right to speak. But however, I also have a right to say what I'm going to say. So, but I will say is, regardless of how things, whatever the future may hold, I will never ever compromise what I believe, and I will never compromise my principles for someone else. I will always live for the Bible, and I will always live for his word. And I think that's what we need to do. And I know in the next few weeks I'm going to try to get into a little bit of Genesis, but what I'm but in I would say probably next week I'm gonna kind of just do. I'm actually gonna do a video in the next couple weeks on the beginning of Genesis. I'm gonna read a little bit of this Bible, and I want to make a little bit of it. But right now, right now, as I'm gonna kind of gonna focus on is I want to focus on the book of Revelation. So I'm gonna be reading a little more about that, and then when I get finished reading about that, because I think that the book of Revelation is very appropriate, especially in some of the tough times that we're living in right now. And a lot of what we are seeing, a lot of the things that are happening in our country and across the world, a lot of it is actually coming true, and it's all in the book of Revelation. And that's kind of what I'm going to be focusing on these next few weeks. But after I get finished with this study, maybe in a few weeks, I may do a video on Revelation. It depends on where my mind is, but I do want to get into the first chapter of Genesis. I want to do a few things on that, but I do want to do Revelation, but I'm going to kind of focus on the book of Revelation because I feel it is very appropriate. And I think it is very important for right now is for Christians to stand firm in what they believe, continue to pray, and no matter what the enemy throws at them, you must say to yourself, I will not compromise my principles for anyone else. I will always live for the Bible. I will always follow biblical principles, no matter what. I will do it to the end of my days. And I think that's what we need to do. We need to continue to pray. We need to continue to read our Bible. We need to remain confident because Jesus is coming, and so we all need to be prepared for the end times. So we all just need to continue to remain in His Word. I know there's a lot of people out there that are feeling depressed. They're feeling discouraged about. There's all this fear that's being thrown at us, and that is trying to control us. The devil is coming after us in every which way he can. But I can tell you one thing: as long as we have His Word, as long as we have this, nothing, no enemy can defeat us. No enemy whatsoever. So for those Christians out there that are feeling discouraged or feeling that the enemy is attacking them, there are some times that I feel the enemy is attacking us. Me sometimes. We need to stay encouraged. We need to continue to pray. We need to stay discouraged, and we will defeat this evil thing, and we will get out of this, but as long as we continue to stay in His Word. So we cannot be discouraged. We just need to continue to stay principled and not focus on anything else, and not focus on the news or whatever the media throws at us. So it's time that we all remain principled. We continue to stay in His Word, and we continue to read our Bible. So I will be back with you probably maybe in the next few weeks with something on Genesis or Revelation. I'm not sure where the Lord is leading me right now, but when I finally find something, I certainly will be posting a future video. So this is Steve from suburban Chicago. This is a voice crying in the wilderness, and I will see you again very soon. Bye bye.